Hello there. What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about the future of huge ships in X-Wing 2.0. It's been kind of a slow year for a lot of news. A lot of stuff got slowed down, but during the course of all of this, I think one thing that kind of got lost is we not too long ago had the huge ship conversion kit and the initial launch of huge ships come out for X-Wing, and there was definitely some bumps in the road along the way. I'm going to talk about that a little bit in this video. I also want to do a shout out to the sponsor Luxury Playstyle for sponsoring this video. Be sure to go to luxuryplaystyle.com and check out their full metal tokens. You can save 15% if you use code Crabbok VIP, and while supplies last, on order of $35 or more is also going to get you this fancy schmancy C token. It's a Crabbok token with lightsaber nunchucks. It's got a 5 on the back, a C on the front, red and blue, good for light side, dark side. The C token is used for, you can use it in just about any game. It's really cool, and you're going to get one of those with any order of $35 or more. So check out luxuryplaystyle.com. Okay, so the huge ship conversion kit was actually a pretty good deal if you're interested in playing with huge ships for X-Wing, and it kind of came with a lot of, it came with two bases, a new type of base. They said, hey, we've got a new Raider coming out, a new Corvette, and a new C-ROC all coming out, and it was like, oh, well, huge ships are coming back to X-Wing, and this is really exciting. And then we haven't really heard much since then because, well, where's the rest? Like, where's the GR-75, and where's the Gazanti, and where's the new huge ships for other factions? Where's all of this, right? So I want to talk about that a little bit today because it's pretty interesting. Now, first thing I want to specify is for casual play, especially during COVID, I think COVID's kind of put a little bit of a slowdown on a lot of things, but also given me a different perspective on a lot of things, because for a lot of people out there, all you got to do, if you want to play huge ships, buy this conversion kit. Don't buy any of the models. It's got all the cards, the bases, and the cardboard, everything you need to fly the huge ship. We'll just pretend it's cloaked, right? Like there won't be anything physically on there. Maybe you can, 3D print a ship or build one out of like paper mache or something like that. Point is, you can always play it without the miniature on the base, and you're still moving the bases around. So you can still get like your gameplay in. Now, obviously, that wouldn't be tournament legal, but you're not using huge ships in tournaments anyway. So, if you just want to have the mechanics of it and you want to try it out and see if you think it'd be fun to have these big, huge, nasty ships on the table, the huge ship conversion kit actually has all the gameplay stuff you need for at least one huge ship for every faction, which is pretty cool. Now, at least every faction as of October 2020. You never know if they might eventually add another faction in, especially with The Mandalorian Season 2 coming back out and all of that stuff. But no, I think there, we had a lot of expectations that there was going to be more huge ships coming out. And so, the first launch, we did get a re-released Tantive 4, and that had its own set of problems. The big problem from this set was that it had the wrong dial. And ironically enough, the conversion kit had the right dial for that CR90 Corvette, but the CR90 Corvette dial in this pack was wrong. Well, they actually did just recently send those out, but it took months and months for this replacement to actually, get shipped out. I talked quite a bit about, some of the huge ship problems that we had. There was also supposed to be a Raider that also came out, and then, a couple of weeks before release, I think maybe like 2 or 3 weeks or so before it was supposed to have had a street date, they came out and said, hey, we're not gonna make the Raider. Or also, and along with that, a couple of other expansions that they also said they weren't going to do. And so they're like, wait, you're not going to make the Raider, because they said, well, we still have a lot of 1.0 Raiders left. And so, yeah, basically it seemed like once people buy these all up, then we'll release the 2.0 Raiders. But it was put out from a certain point of view that kind of said, hey, we're not even going to make any Raiders. I'm like, wait, it's supposed to come out in like 2 weeks. What do you mean you're not going to make them? You would have had to start making them like 9 months ago. So how can you decide now that you're not going to make it? It wasn't going to, so it was handled really strangely. I always had my theories that maybe there was some kind of production problem with them or whatever, which has certainly happened before. They also did come out with the C-ROC, and you know, like again, it's really kind of the same as the original C-ROC. It's just got the new 2.0 stuff. Big problem I saw with this one. This was the only X-Wing expansion I've not purchased, and I haven't reviewed or anything because it's completely the same as the first C-ROC. And the problem is the first C-ROC, there were a lot of those made. Like my local sci-fi city had like 100 of them in. Like they were like $20. Like they were like practically giving them away. And I'm like, and this was like for $99 MSRP. I'm like, I'm not spending $100 on a ship that I can, you know, I can get 5 of them for that price. You know, like there's no way. And it's the same because you got the conversion kit. You didn't need to get this. So, you know, this is really put out there in case the supply of 1.0 C-ROCs ever runs out. Maybe by now they're starting to run out. Who knows? I don't know. But it's a cool ship. You know, it's fun to play Epic, and all of that is great. But it really is like, okay, so but this was the only 2 that have been released for X-Wing Second Edition. One for the Rebels, one for Scum. And yeah, I mean, like there's some cross faction cards where you can use them in a different faction and stuff like that. And hey, that's great. That's great. It's not good enough, right? Like I feel like it's not good enough. I feel like we need more huge ships, and I wonder if they didn't sell well enough, especially with, you know, the drama of there being an incorrect dial on one, and then the Raider, which is a lot of people. I think the Raider is one of the ships a lot of people would have bought just for the model, and that one never, you know, came out, and you know. I know a lot. The Raider model is fantastic. I love mine, and I would have bought a second one because just to see if the engine paint, because the one they had on display at Gen Con was the engine was painted a little different, right? So I would have totally picked up another one and done an unboxing of those because that's a really, really, really pretty ship. Whereas the C-ROC isn't really that pretty, right? You're not going to put this as a display piece, but even now. For the main 3, if you go to Asmodee's website, the Raider, they still have the Raider on stock. Oh, and it's on sale. Look at that! I mean, it's not that much of a sale compared to the fact that you get all the stuff for it for free in the conversion kit, but it's on sale a little bit, so that's pretty cool. And it also actually does come with a TIE Advanced X1 model too. So if you're looking for an extra ship, you can totally take advantage of that aspect. But they don't have any other huge ships besides this, which means the GR75 and the Gozanti are not available anywhere in Asmodee's stuff, which is a little strange. I'm like, well, weren't they presumably going to make those in second edition also? I mean, the GR75 was the first Epic ship. I mean, that one should have, you know, long since sold out by now. And the Gozanti was actually a really nice ship, a really good display piece too. Gozantis have been showing up more and more and more. And so it's like, well, aren't they going to do more of these? It really has me wondering, especially with the release of Star Wars Squadrons, which kind of features a lot of that starfighter on capital ship combat, which I think is really ideal for X-Wing Epic play. I think it's really something that can really draw those people in, draw a lot of people to this game, especially as more and more stores are starting to open back up and allow limited, in-person gaming. You're going to get that curb appeal, you're going to get that table appeal of a lot of these games. So I figure, it kind of stands to reason they would at least release the same ones that they've already had, in keeping with their original promise that everything from 1.0 was also going to be re-released in 2.0, right? I mean, wasn't that, or the spirit of that was kind of the original promise. So that's, I'd be surprised if they don't at least come back with those, but there's more factions now. There's a lot more factions now. And so I feel like, with the First Order and the Resistance, it's a little harder to nail down things that are unique to them in this kind of scale that are also have, I would say like shelf appeal that people are going to recognize. Like I couldn't name you a single First Order ship that's really small like this. I just couldn't. I mean, we'd have to really think. Like, you could Google it and you could like try and find. Maybe there was some. I think there was something in one of the comics that was kind of small, but I think it was still too big for X-Wing. Maybe the drop ships they used in Episode 7, but like those aren't really recognizable. Those who's going to look at that and be like, oh yeah, that's a Star Wars. Like when they make this stuff, especially the high price point stuff, like it really helps if it's something that's recognizable, something that's going to sell. and I feel like a lot of that isn't, and anything that maybe the First Order, I'm sorry, the Resistance has is something that we've probably already seen. Like for example, CR-90 Corvettes. But I think the Clone Wars gives them a great opportunity to make things that are possibly more recognizable and also a lot more relevant to the time period, and to kind of jump back into Epic, and maybe a lot of people who kind of were brought into the game with the Clone Wars might have an opportunity to go over and check out some Epic play. So I would love for them to do the Consular class cruiser. It's in the perfect size range for Epic play. It's certainly not the only ship they could do from this. They could certainly stand to maybe also do some slightly larger things, although the larger ships could come in at a really difficult price point and might be difficult to actually manufacture. Like if they wanted to do an Architon's cruiser in X-Wing scale, I would love that. Same thing with a Nebulon B frigate or something like that. But I don't really see them doing that because of the problems they had with trying to do the Armada's Super Star Destroyer. And that would be kind of difficult for them to do again, especially for something that's going to maybe have even more detail. But, I still would love it. I would love it. Speaking of Armada, I think that gives us a good idea for a Separatist ship. I'm using Armada art here, but for the hard cell class transport, the hard cells were kind of on the ground in Episode 2, and they're not as recognizable, but they do kind of fit the size, and they do kind of fit the bill as far as like a battlefield role, and have some things kind of smaller. Most of the Separatist stuff is a lot larger. They're a fleet that predominantly they have a lot of fighters, but they also have a lot of medium and large size capital ships, and then not too many smaller capital ships. So the hard cell actually works pretty well for X-Wing and for X-Wing Epic. So I think that could be a cool one to do also if you're trying to do both Clone Wars factions, to have an entry point into Epic that doesn't involve them using kind of hand-me-downs from the other factions from the conversion kit. Also, because not everybody who's new to the game wants to buy a conversion kit. Maybe they've never played Epic before and they don't have any of the other stuff, and they don't want to buy a conversion kit that doesn't have models. So maybe they would like to just get a Clone Wars specific ship. Maybe they don't want to buy the CR-90. Maybe to a lot of people, even though those did exist back then, maybe the CR-90 is something that they more associate with the Rebellion, and they want something like a consular cruiser, right? I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool. I love big ships. I love big models. And so I think it would be really cool if they did start doing more with X-Wing huge ships. I would love to see that. I'd also love to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments section. If you are new here, I also want to let you know there's still time left to enter to win the $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. I've got a little admin stuff at the end here. If you're interested in learning more about the channel or other ways to help support the channel, check the links down in the description below. You're going to see them down there. If you click that See More button, there's going to be links to my website, Crabbok.com. It has more information on all my giveaways that are going. There's also a Star Wars Legion-based giveaway also running all month long. We've got links for the Teespring merch store if you're interested in shirts like this one, the Bad Dice Prison, putting your dice on carbonite when they don't roll well for you. There's a lot of merch in the Teespring store, so you can check that out as well as Patreon or my Discord. If you do check out my Discord, there's also links to other Discords. There's X-Wing specific Discords, so you're gonna be able to find a gateway into a whole lot of information right there, and hopefully that will help you out. Also, one of our members is running an X-Wing survey right now, and I think you'll be able to find links to that in my Discord as well as in the X-Wing Discords. So be sure to, for those of you who do use Discord, check that out and check out the survey that's running right now, because it's kind of a fun thing to see what people think about X-Wing. All right, I think that's going to do it for all the admin stuff. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic weekend. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing. So I'd like to thank you so much for sticking with me, for your continued support. I couldn't do this without you, so thank you so much. I will talk to you guys later. And as always, have a great day.